Hey Craft Fairies, thank you for joining me today. So we're going to be working with the Hollyhock collection from Heartfelt Creations. If you need to see this full collection, I will link the video, the haul video, in the description box so you can go ahead and take a look at this collection in full detail. So we're going to start out with the main stamp and die set from this collection, which is the Hollyhock flower. And as you can see here, you get different sizes of the hollyhocks as well as the foliage to go with it. So what I've done is taken this size here, which is the medium size, and I went ahead and stamped that, and I stamped that with some Stays On ink in fuchsia pink, and I am going to go ahead and color the centers of that with lilac posies. So I'm just going to get some on my little sponge, and I'm just going to go around the center in a circular motion and make it a really deep color, and just achieving that by getting a decent amount on the sponge and then just doing that circular. All right, so then now what I'm going to do is take some Distress Oxide in Kitsch Flamingo. No, actually this is Picked Raspberry, and I'm just going to go ahead and color the outer edges of my florals. So just take that and just go around my florals, and you can search hollyhocks and you will see that they come in a lot of colors. So different shades of pinks. I believe there are yellow colors. I like hollyhocks. I have not grown them, but I think they're super pretty. I have grown gladiolus, which is another tall, like climbing what do you call it, flower, and what do you call it, a flower, of course. And yeah, so then I'm just gonna take some of this on the back just to get the backs colored. Doesn't have to be perfect. These are dimensional, so I kind of want to have the back colored a little bit, and you don't have to spend too much time. The brush actually spreads it. This little brush here spreads it faster. All right, so that's enough. So then I'm just gonna go ahead one more time and deepen the inner portion of the flower, because the oxide does fade it a little bit, but you don't have to do that twice, but I like doing that. All right, so then now I'm just gonna close that up, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out. So you're just gonna take the coordinating dies, and that one, you take it and just like this, and you just go ahead and line it up. Line it up like that, and then just run it through your die cutting machine. So now that I have those cut out, I'm gonna go ahead and shape these. Shape it with the mold, which is my preference, but you don't have to have the mold. So here's the mold, and you get all different shapes of the flowers, and you can put 3 is good of each in each cavity to get that dimension. So you can definitely shape a lot of flowers at once. So you can just take your floral, and you need to have a shaping tool, flower shaping tool, and you can get this from several companies. And I'm just gonna flip it over and just give it some movement around the edges of the petal. The more you do it, the more dimension you will get. And then I'm going to take it and go push it down deep in the center. Okay, super easy. I'm going to do it again, and around the edges. And you pick the shaping tools, usually will come with different sizes. You use what you want. I'm using more of a medium size to get more dimension, and then give it a deep push in the center. Okay, and then all you're going to do is take them, offset them, and glue them together. So I am just going to do that. I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue. You can use wet glue, and I'm just going to offset those and center that just like that. And then this piece here, I have another one here. I'm just going to show you how it looks when you use the shaping mold. So to use the shaping mold, I am just going to take my one floral. I have plenty of other florals ready for our project, and you're just going to take this and you're going to lay it in the actual size that it will fit, and you line it up, and you're just going to place it face down, or you can do face up, and you can put up to 3 in here to keep that dimension going. Take a little bit of water, spritz. And what is the water for? To kind of loosen up the fibers in the paper a little bit, because this is going to have a lot of pressure once we run it through. So today I'm using my Spellbinders Platinum 6. You need to have a wide opening on your die cutting machine. You see how thick that is? So you can go to Heartfelt's website and you can look at the compatibility of die cutting machines. All right, so you just use your 2 clear plates, and I'm just running it through. And then now when I take it out from the mold, as you can see, it is pretty shaped, and see the dimension, and there we go. Then now what I'm going to do is take my lilac posies again in memento, and not me. You don't have to do this. You don't have to, you know, be like that. I'm just going around the edges of it with some ink. It's super optional. I like to do that because it gives it a lot more definition. It's optional. And I'm going to take it and do the same thing to this one that I put together. And if you're wondering, what are you going to do with that one single flower? I already have another one. See, because you only can cut, the die cuts 3 of them at a time. So I have another one over there waiting. All right. So like I said, this is optional. Here is my other one, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue those 2 together. And just on the same thing, you just take it and offset it and press in the center, and you have your floral. All right, so then now let's go ahead and work on our card. So for the actual card, I am going to be making a slimline card. So I have this pretty card here, and I have this beautiful die cut here. This is not Heartfelt Creations, so you can use your own things. You can use only Heartfelt Creations, whatever you want to do to create your pretty cards. So for my color palette and for the actual tall flower, I wanted to use a slimline. So I just have stacked 2 sets of foam squares on the back of this, and I'm just going to take those off and glue that to the card. So I've cut out this one, and this is called the Hollyhock Stem and Blooms, and I chose this one here. So it has the stem and some blooms, and I just took some cottage ivy from Memento and stamped that onto some green cardstock. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna ink the edges, and I'm gonna do that with some Rustic Wilderness from Tim Holtz. So I'm just gonna grab my sponge over here, and I'm just gonna go around the edges with that. So this is optional. Like I said, this just gives it definition, and totally optional. It doesn't have to be something you spend a lot of time on. It doesn't have to be perfect. Look at that, less than 20 seconds. Done. And I like to show you the colors that I'm using, you know, just to kind of give you some ideas. So what color should I use, etc. All right, so now we have this, and we have those beautiful florals that we made. So now we need to get some stamens in these. Now we need to get these flowers. So what you need to do is take a pokey tool, any type of pokey tool, and you need to get something that's going to poke a hole into the center of your flowers. Okay, so I'm creating a little hole here, and what I'm doing is I have from Heartfelt, you can use any stamens. I'm using the rock candy stamens here, and they come in a variety of colors in your kit, in the pack. This does not come with the set. This is a separate purchase, but like I said, you could use any stamen that you have. So I'm using the rock candy stamens, and what I'm going to do is I have 2 of them. I'm just going to fold them in half, and I'm just going to push them through that little hole. So you just squeeze it so that you can form it to fit through the little hole. If it doesn't go through, then just make your hole a little larger. And I'm just pulling those through. See that? I'm just pulling it through. And what I'm going to do now is just put some hot glue on the bottom to secure those stamens. So I'm just going to let that dry, and then I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Just poke a hole in the center. I'm just turning my little pokey tool to widen the hole a little bit. And I'm going to take the same thing, take some stamens. So this one I have 3, but that's okay. And I'm just going to poke this through. And because I have 3, I might need to make the hole a little bigger. So yeah, don't stress over stamens and all that. You can use what you have. On the video, when this came out, it was recommended to get the pastel pollen stamens, which I do have, because I think it probably looks more natural. But all right, so we're only going to put 2. Actually 1 went through. That's fine. All right, so I'm not going to fight it. The pastel pollen stamens are these ones. So you can get this from Heartfelt as well. And these are larger ones, and they're super pretty. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and add some glitter I'm just going to add some glitter to my project. So I'm just going to take a piece of paper. I usually have my coffee filters handy. Not today. All right, so I'm just take a piece of paper, and I'm going to be using the clear glitter from Heartfelt, and I'm just going to get this glued on. So you just put some glue on your sponge. This is a little sponge from the Dollar Tree, and just take it, and I'm just going to put this on the edges, and you can use a paintbrush if you like. And I'm just getting some glue, and this is just to help spread the glue out so it's not globs. And then I'm just going to dunk it into the glitter, tap off the excess, and there we go. And you just do the same thing to this side. Just getting that glue on. Get a little dunk there, and then I'm going to do the same thing, but for the leaves. Actually, they're so long, you have to actually put the glitter on yourself. Like, all right, so for this part, you got to actually shake it on. The leaves are a little too wide to fit in that bowl of glitter. And I'm just focusing on the edges because that's mostly what we'll be showing once I get my project together. I have my card base here, and I'm just going to take this beautiful cutout that I have here, and I'm going to place that on my card. Isn't that pretty? So at this particular moment, I don't have Heartfelt Creations slimline dies, so I had to use another brand. This is Anna Griffin. So I definitely want to get Heartfelts as well. So then I have this, and I have some foam adhesive on the back, and I'm going to just place this. I'm gonna move it up a little bit so you can see the bottom of this beautiful looks like a trellis. How pretty is that? So then I also have this. I cut this out in vellum, and this is also from the Hollyhock Stem and Blooms, but this one is just the stems only, not the blooms. Look at that. Look how tall it is. Super pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and get this down, and I'm just going to put some hot glue on. I'm pretty much just going to focus the hot glue on the spine of this plant, and I'm just going to offset it a little bit. And then for this part, I need to add some foam adhesive to this. You see where I'm going? Pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and add foam adhesive to the back of this. So I have that adhered, and then now I'm just going to take, so this is the largest of the hollyhocks, and I have 2 of them, and I'm just going to start to build my hollyhock stem. So I'm just putting hot glue on the bottom. And just get this glued down. Do the same here, but I'm gonna kind of offset it a little bit so it doesn't look exactly the same. So I'm gonna move this one up just a little bit. And I don't know what that is outside, sounding terrible. All right, so then I'm going to, so what you do is with the hollyhocks, you have like the largest size, then the medium, then the small. Like the largest blooms are at the bottom, and then once you get towards the top, they get smaller and smaller. So this is the medium size, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get the medium size placed down on as well. I'm just kind of holding it there because I am using quite a bit amount of glue. Okay, and then I'll get my medium one on this side, and I just think this is so pretty. I forgot to clip off the excess, and I think I chose some good colors, the different shades of pink. All right, and then I can place another one. I'm gonna place that one in the center. And then I'll show you the smallest ones, which is these little guys right here, and they're so cute. Just have some hot glue on them, and you just place them at the top. Place one here. Place another one, put one at the very top there, and then we'll get you squeezed in here, I guess, on the side here. Okay. All right, so we'll get you on the side there. All right, so that is pretty. And then now what I want to do, all my glue webs, I have a pretty butterfly here that I cut out in some foil paper. Add a little bit of hot glue to the butterfly. Get that on right there. Wants to enjoy the hollyhocks. And then I have some jewels here that I'm just gonna place in the corners of this beautiful die cut. And this is going to be a birthday card. So in the paper pad of this collection, you have some sentiments that you can cut out, and I've chosen this one that says happy birthday, and I just put some foam adhesive on the back, and I'm just going to place this at the top of my pretty cutout right here. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so then we'll work on another card. Now, so for this one, I have a 5x7 card base here, and I use my own, I have a cut and emboss folder, and it cuts out a window and it embosses like a brick or stone pattern, and I just cut out a piece of paper to put for like the inside of the window. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some color, just some light, like a wash. So I'm going to be using pumice stone from Tim Holtz, and I'm pretty much just going to take some on my brush. I'm just gonna go around just a little bit. It doesn't have to have any particular pattern. It doesn't need to be neat. You'll see it more once it dries. I'm just kind of going for that washed look of this. I'm pretty much this is like stone to me. All right, so as you can see it drying, you see it clearing up, not clearing up, but you see the color more. So I just wanted to give it a little bit more of that stone look. So there we go. So then now what I used is from the collection. You also get this set here, which is called the Hollyhock fence, and you get a fence, and then you get 3 different sizes of stems and blooms to fit at the best height to use the fence. So I've cut these out in some green and some glitter cardstock, and I'm just going to place these around my window. I'm just gonna glue this to my 5x7 card base. So I'm just gonna get that on. All right, get that pressed on. So then now I'm just gonna take, these were just stamped on some green cardstock with some green ink, and I'm just gonna take these and place these around my window. And as you can see, they are much shorter than the tall. That is a large difference. So depending on your taste, your like, or what you're creating, you can go for the taller or the shorter. All right, so then I have these that's just cut out in some green glitter cardstock, and I'm just gonna put those there. So for this card, I used the Hollyhocks, but I used the smallest smallest flower of the Hollyhock, and we're just gonna create a different look. That's what I was going for, just to create a different look. All right, so just to create a different look, and I colored them in some blue, different shades of blue. So I'm just taking them, getting some adhesive on them, some hot glue on them, and I'm just gonna place them all around the window. So we're just creating a pretty little hollyhocks around the windows of this beautiful cutout. And they're so pretty, and I put a little white stamen on the inside. So like I said, you can decorate how you like. And look at that, that's 5. Pretty. Do the same thing here. And the hot glue really makes them stick, and it makes it dries faster. And you'll have a lot of fun shaping these pretty flowers. All right, and then put you at the top. Oh, look at that, how cute is that? So then I have this pretty butterfly here that I cut out in a pretty blue foil cardstock, and I'm just gonna put the butterfly right there by this window. So he's interested, I can't talk, he's interested in seeing the hollyhocks. All right, and then I have this sentiment here, and this is just one of my own sentiments that I cut out. So this is a window, pretty much it's the side of a window, or a window on the front of the house, however you want to call it. So I cut out this little banner, and I stamped it that says happily ever after. And so pretty much this is for like a wedding, that you can give, because obviously when you get married you do move with the other person, so their new place, their new apartment, new house, whatever. And look how you created that card. And then I have some more of these that I could actually put here. So then now I can just take this, and I mean, it's up to you where you want to put it. You can add some there. I'll just leave it out. So that is the pretty card in a different way with the little hollyhocks. And then we have the slimline one that looks more like traditional hollyhocks. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again. Bye.